Hey guys, Keronari here, or you may recognize the name Stell instead. Today I will be starting a new video series called Analyze This Game, and basically it's just going to be my tournament matches, and I will be going over what went wrong, what went right, and what I could have done instead. And today we will just be doing one match since I figured each match may end up being a bit lengthy since I'll be going over some stuff quite a bit. And yeah, so a couple of things I want to break down before actually getting into it so I don't find myself talking over and over about the same thing. So for some of you newer players who haven't played too much, there's a couple of things to know. So the basic standing area is where you start, the serving circle. So this is a good all-round place to stand. It lets you get around to most of the shots with a relative ease. But depending on where your opponent is, you may want to change up your position a bit. So, say for example, my opponent, Thelarsvolta, was up in the left-hand corner. I would want to switch my position a bit over towards the left here where my cursor is, maybe a bit on the line or even a bit further back. But the reason I want to move over a bit is because obviously it's going to be faster for him to throw the disc down the line against the wall. It'll take less time to reach the end zone rather than for him to either curve it or throw it diagonally across. It's going to take longer time since it's a greater distance to curve it around my right side, so I would want to move over to the left. And that's the exact same if he's up in the top right corner. Obviously I'll do the same but moving a bit over to the right. So with that said, let's get on with the game, I guess. Now, this was a bad and good game for me. I started off pretty bad, and for some reason my serves in this game were terrible. So I got caught moving a bit over to the right there whenever I should have been standing in the center. So we're getting started, and that was a decent throw by me. It was a good dash by Lars to get back in. So my positioning wasn't too bad there. I didn't react fast enough to get to the disc. And so far 21-0 down. We definitely want to make some comebacks. So I got kind of chasing for the disc there. I ran to the left to meet the disc rather than waiting for it to bounce off the wall and just getting in position. So what I should be doing here is trying to get him to run for it. I want to make sure a standing player isn't just and for there, you seen the reason I lost was because I didn't move into position fast enough. I didn't move over to the left a bit as caught standing in the corner. So we managed to get 1 point here, but I'm pretty sure, yep, we lose, end up straight away again. So even though he was over on the left hand side, I tried running over to the left and he seen that, so he threw it back to my right and caught me off guard. So moving on to the second set, I want to be standing, yep, I'm in a good position here, and I just mistimed my my perfect throw. I ended up pressing too soon, got the shield up, and I ended up dropping the disc. Not much to say about that. And I did the exact same again. I don't want to dash for it because I kind of want to try and keep the super to the perfect throw to keep up the pressure, but I ended up just losing the point for it. So not a bad start here at the moment. I didn't curve enough there, so rather than getting a nice curve around his right hand side would have been our left hand side, it ended up bouncing off the wall and he is able to catch it and just put it away. So mainly just me so far not being able to land the shots that I need to land and being out of position. So my position wasn't terrible there. I was kind of where I said I should be standing, but because he wasn't the entire way over to the left, the exact same thing happened again. So he was kind of in the middle between the center and the left hand side, so I shouldn't have been standing in line with him. I'd say the center still might have been a decent place to stand there. So we lost the first set rather easily, or not the first set, the first game. We lost that rather easily, but thankfully I picked things up in the second game and we won this one with relative ease. So let's see what I was doing right or what the Thelarsvolta was doing wrong this time. So that was a bad throw by me. I threw it directly to him, but we got him to dash over to the right again, and he's got me to dash and lose my juice as well. But we are able to place our shots good enough so that you see how we're constantly making them dash. and losing. So as long as he isn't keeping up his perfect, we're fine. So I think we had 2 stacks of the juice there, and we just got a nice wall ride, which he couldn't catch up to again. With this is Stanton with the nerfs on his dash. So if it was Stanton with his dash that he currently has now, he probably would have got it. So bad positioning by me again. I wasn't able to catch it. And let's see where this goes. So he's playing a bit aggressive at the moment. He was up front, and whenever Stanton gets up to the net, it's so hard to stop the disc. So that's another thing you want to do. And at this point, I'm kind of knowing that he might be playing aggressive to kind of try and take the set since he's already in the lead. And I want to try and stop that, because losing this set would have been terrible for me. So 1940 and 19 down to 43. My main goal in my mind right now is try and not do anything too risky. If I think something might get past me, I'm definitely going to dash for it, rather than try and go for a bit of a greed play and shield it instead. So I want to get a nice curve around here. So thankfully, maybe if he ran a bit more and dashed, he could have got it, but we got a nice shot over to the right. So we're just playing side to side right now, making him run for it, and we're trying to get him to dash, which he just did. And that was actually, it's a bit of a mistake by him. He shouldn't have ran up to the net there, and he was expecting the curve around to the left, but I kind of expected him to do that, so I just threw it down the line, which I do a couple of times in this game, and he falls for it almost every time, I believe, which is kind of understandable, but he's just putting himself in bad positions. So just lobbing to try and reset the perfect at the moment, which he just did. He missed the perfect, so we've got our just rolling at the moment. We want to try and keep up the momentum, looking for a curve around here. So we didn't get the curve, we went for the diagonal shot, which was a mistake. If we got the curve, we might have straight up won the point, but we didn't. He tried to go for the lob, which was a mistake, and I threw it down the line again. So we're a bit aggressive at the moment. Since we're up to the net, he couldn't really predict what way we're going to go. I put a little bit of a skill curve on it, and he chose the wrong direction. So at this point, there's a nice wall ride for me. I was close to the center. He wasn't really expecting the wall ride, and he couldn't react it. So at this point, I want to try and reset his perfect. So yep, throw a lob back there. He still got his perfect, so I'm just going to keep throwing lobs until he resets his perfect. But unfortunately, he landed his perfect throws, and I couldn't keep up with it. So at this point, he's got the perfect advantage. So yep, straight ahead, go for the lob, and thankfully he had the dash there for it, so he reset his perfect. So we just want to try and get him on a slow throw so we can get the advantage on the perfects. So a nice little curve there. The plan was to try and get him to dash there for it, but he ended up just missing it altogether. So nice 2-0 win in this game for me, but then this is where it all goes wrong. Watch my serves. My serves are completely off in this game, and it starts off good, but it all goes downhill very shortly. So at this point, I should have threw it down the left hand side, but I was a bit cheeky and went for the right side, which he was close to, and I ended up paying for it. Alright, so he's up at the net again. We want to try and get him away from net or reset his perfect throws. And with Stanton's slower slide now, he just couldn't reach that. So he's got the advantage with the perfect start, and I still have not got a perfect. So he probably didn't have to dash that, but he did. So it's reset as perfect, and that's pretty good for us. Let's see where it goes from here. He ended up not even getting a silver through there, so it straight up took advantage of it. He was probably feeling a bit tilted from that. So had to dash flat there, just a wall ride down the side. We need to get something going here. So he's the last is perfect. We've got the pressure on, and we have 3 sacks of the perfect now. So we ended up getting the full juice there, and he threw a lob, but Stanton's lob is pretty slow. And like I said, he expected the left curve again, but I just threw it straight on the line, and he didn't react to it. And this is where everything goes wrong. So, not bad play by me so far. I just lost my juice, which is unfortunate, and I'm doing alright. I should have, once again, he threw it at the wall and I couldn't react in time for it. I went to chase the disc, and I didn't really predict where it was going, and instead I ended up just letting it get past me. So at this point, I tried to go for the long curve around his side, but I ended up throwing straight to him. And I actually could have got that, but I was greedy and wanted to try and catch it for the perfect, and I let it just get past me. So here you can see, I'll pause it. So he was standing over here, and I was on my way back to the center. I should have stopped here, but I figured he was going to take advantage of my bad decision and throw it down to the left hand side. But as he seen me running across, he decided to go for a shot behind me, and I was running past it. I took too long, and it's a good shot by him. I can make it back into him. So you see straight off the bat, my serves were terrible. I'm throwing blue serves, which you never want. With a serve, you want to take advantage of getting the juice first, but I haven't been able to get not only just perfect, so my serves just weren't precise at all. So you see how confident he was playing. He's up the net, able to put a deflect over. At this point, I'm feeling kind of tilted, but I feel like I can kind of come back because I did it earlier in the game. So I'm not completely tilted. I'm still believing I can maybe get the win from this, but my position's over. You see he's much further up than he usually is. He's playing full aggression right now, and the power standing through, it's hard to stop, especially if you're out of position. Like, he's right up the net at the moment, so we actually should have been lobbing it over him to force him back to the hazard line. So we managed to get 1 point back there. He's playing a bit back, so this is good for us. We just have to keep up our juice. So it's going well so far. We want to do a left curve around here, but we lost our juice. That's a big mistake. And now he straight up made it, bounced it off the wall again, and I went to chase the disc rather than be in position for it. So that was a good serve from me. Managed to get it around him and get a nice 10 points from that. Unfortunately, they had to slide for a silver there, which you never really want. So we have we had the juice advantage, but he was standing up around here and I was down here, and he went for the bounce off the wall. I kind of ran to the left a bit, thinking it might have came down the line, but it just bounced off the wall, came down here. I stuck over here, and I wasn't in position for it. So that was the game. 2-1 for him. Plenty of mistakes by me, mostly on my serves. I believe my serves on the whenever I was actually playing the game, I felt that my serves were terrible, and they put a lot of pressure on me at the start. But rewatching now, and I'll probably rewatch it again, I kind of noticed that I could have recovered from him with how aggressive he was playing up towards the net. I easily could have lobbed it over him, and even though Stanton's lobs aren't that great, even though Gator's lobs aren't that great, I easily could have forced him back to the hazard line and kind of reset the plays from there. So I think that's the main thing to learn from this game. Even if you're not landing your shots like you want to, if you find your opponent playing aggressive up towards the net, make sure just throw a lob in there back to the hazard line, and it kind of resets things. He might keep up with perfect, but you can maybe throw in another lob. It lets you get back into precision and kind of reset things for there, and it takes a bit of stress off your shoulder, knowing that you're in a better way to deal with things rather than him being right up in the net, being able to basically control the game. So that was today's game. I hope maybe you guys learned from it, learned that I am bad at this game, and the Thelarsvolta is a good player, can't take anything away from him. Even with the Stanton nerfs, he held with the Stanton, one of the few players who actually did in this tournament. And so far, how I feel things are shaping up to be, it looks like McKenna's definitely the strongest character at the moment. In this tournament, I would say Gator was definitely the second best character, not far behind McKenna. And Stanton, it was a bit of a skill matchup. Stanton between Gator, it was down to who could land the better shots and put the pressure on. But I definitely felt that Gator was the better character for this, and I lost to the Thelarsvolta playing better than me. But there has been a patch since then, and I guess we can leave that for another video, which it kind of changes up things altogether. And even though it was just a small revert and sentence late, but we'll get into that another time. So thanks for watching, guys, and hopefully you guys come back for my next video where hopefully maybe I'm playing a bit better. So thanks for watching, and see ya later.